Yes, sir. Am I audible? Students, please respond. Am I audible? Okay, good. So, good morning, all of you. Today, we are taking the last session of this data science and machine learning training program. Okay, that is deep learning. Okay. After this, no more classes, and today's class will also be uploaded in YouTube. But you will have to, you can clarify if you attend the live sessions on the spot. You can clarify your doubts on the spot. Okay. Shall we wait for 2 more minutes, or shall we start? As we are starting today the deep learning concept. Okay, completely a new topic. Okay, so before that, I request all of you to please start your Google CO Lab. Okay, make your Google CO Lab ready. Okay, with input underscore data.csv to be uploaded. Okay, I think all of you have this file, right? Input underscore data.csv, right? Upload this. Upload and be ready with Google CO Lab. Okay. Also, be ready with Anaconda 2. Anaconda 2 Jupyter. Okay. I'll explain the concepts parallelly with the problems. So all of you, please be ready with all these things. Okay. 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 Let us start our today's session, that is deep learning. Okay. Yeah, let's start with the introduction. Okay, as I already told you at the time of introduction to machine learning, we have an architecture, right? We have seen an architecture that contains so many blocks like artificial intelligence, machine learning, types of machine learning, all these things, right? We have seen. At that, we have observed that deep learning is a subset of machine learning. Okay, you see, you cannot think that deep learning is completely different with machine learning. Deep learning using deep learning, we can also implement regression problems as well as classification problems, but the uh, clustering is not happened, but still we can do some unsupervised learning techniques using this deep learning methodologies. Okay, so generally, this deep learning dominantly used in some image analysis. That means identifying an image and labeling it. Okay, just like identifying a person, identifying an animal, identifying an object, like that. Okay, so most of the people are use this deep learning methodologies for image analysis. Okay, I'm not saying that the data analysis not at all will be done with the deep learning, but when compared to the data analysis and image analysis will play a very dominant role in deep learning methodologies. Okay, so the key elements that we use in the deep learning means neural networks. Okay, we'll see what are these neural networks. Okay, these are the basic elements that we have to understand. Okay, if you want to understand the deep learning implementations. Okay, neural networks compulsorily we have to understand. So this deep learning is used in some applications that are related to the computer vision. Okay, that means the computer or robot will simulate its vision process. Okay, like identifying objects, just like those robots will run some internal image analysis process, and they will be able to recognize the objects. Okay, objects may be anything in the real world. Okay, so now let us see what are the essentials. First of all, let us see the definition. Okay, scan the data to search for features. Okay, that correlate and combine them to enable faster learning, okay, without being explicitly to do. The thing is, your neural network, if you are applying this image analysis, specifically I'm talking about image analysis, if you want to identify the who is the person in that image, or who is the what is the animal in that image, means first of all, that robot or the computer which it is using it, okay, should identify some features and correlate to the particular object. Okay, if the correlation is successful to a particular object, then it will analyze that it is that object, or it will understand that it is an object. Okay, so that will be happen only through a learning. So before doing including the feature extraction, okay, including the feature extraction, first it will learn all that kind of images, okay, all that kind of images. According to that, it will do some conclusions. Okay, so actually this neural as I'm saying that neural network is the essential element in your deep learning. This neural network mimics the working of our human brain. Okay, for example, if you have this human brain, this is our human brain containing so many neurons like this. Okay, so many neurons, and which are interlinked with each other, or some specific neurons are connected for a specific purpose. Okay, so like that we have millions and millions of neurons inside our human brain. Okay, these neurons will mimic your neural networks. Okay, this is your sample neuron here. Okay, these neurons have the three elements. One is axioms, the second one, and the middle one element we will call it as a nucleus, and this yellow color elements, that what you can see, these are called as the dendrites. Okay, so it will take some input from the axioms, and which will be processed inside the nucleus. Okay, then as per the result that has been produced inside the nucleus, it will give the signal to the specific dendrite. Okay, so all the our human limbs, our human parts, everything is under control of our brain. Okay, according to the inputs that has been taken by the brain, it will give the instruction to the specific limb. Okay, and that input information is processed inside the nucleus of the brain, nucleus of the neuron. Okay, so here I can say that P1, P2, P3, these are called as the inputs, and W1, W2, W3 are, we call it as a weights, and this is what we'll call it as some function that will be run inside this nucleus. According to the result of that function, it will give some specific instruction to the particular dendrite. Okay, so the function has been represented like this: P1 W1 plus P2 W2 plus P3 W3 plus B. Okay, see here the B is the intercept. All of you please remember this term. Okay, this term will play very important role in constructing the different layers of neural network. Okay, so this is our neural network. This neural network contains mainly three layers. One is input layer, the second one is hidden layer, and the third one is output layer. This input layer will take some information and it will forward it to the hidden layer for process, and the result are going to be kept on the output layer. Okay, so what are the various neural network types we have? We have three types basically. Okay, I'm discussing only three types. I'm not saying that only three types we have. Basically, that means you have to learn these three. If you learn these three, then you can understand the further types of neural networks. Okay, so the first one is artificial neural network, and the second one is the convolutional neural networks, and the third one is recurrent neural network. In our session, we are going to understand artificial neural networks, convolution neural networks, and also recurrent neural networks. But practically, we will implement only ANN and CNN. I don't have the code for RNN. Okay, if possible, if it is available for me, definitely I will forward to you. Okay, so at present we discuss we'll have a theoretical explanation for all the three, but practical implementation is there for only first two. Okay, artificial neural networks and convolutional neural networks. Okay, now let us see what is an artificial neural network. So this is one example ANN. Okay, for example, here my aim is to based on number of children and number of accounts, I want to predict the number of transactions like this. Okay, here my input is, my input is what? Number of children, and another input is what? Accounts, and the output is what? You are supposed to predict how many transactions that can be happen having this number of children and this number of accounts. And this is the hidden layers, and between this we have weights like this. Okay, if you observe this neuron here, each and every circle here will call it as a neuron. Okay, so here in this neuron, what we have is here if you observe the neuron 5, it has a 2 bias that is connected with both 2 and 3, and also this neuron has a 2 bias that will connected to 2 and 3. So here every neuron in the hidden layer is connected to every neuron in the input layer. Are you following or not? Here in hidden layer, if you take any neuron, that neuron is connected with all the inputs. All the hidden layer neurons are connected to the all input neurons. Okay. Similarly, all the hidden layer neurons are connected to the output neurons. Every output neuron. Here we have only single output. For example, if you have 2 outputs, okay, then also all the hidden layer neurons are connected to all the output neurons, and all the hidden layer neurons are connected to all the input neurons. Okay, this is the sample neural network. This is what we'll call it as a single layer neural network, because we have only one single hidden layer. This is a 2-layer neural network. Okay, 2-layer neural network. Why? Because it has input layer and then it has hidden layer. So it is called as a 2-layer neural network. Out of 2, one is input layer, another one is the hidden layer. Okay. Output is compulsory for any new artificial neural network. Okay. So first, how we can calculate the output means, for example, I want to calculate 9 here. Okay. Then what I have to do is I have to first perform forward propagation. What do you mean by forward propagation? Means first we will calculate the values for hidden nodes. Okay. For example, I want to calculate the values for hidden nodes. So top node, if you consider this top input node, okay, 2, then how can I calculate the 5 means 2 into 1 plus 3 into 1. That means 2 into 1 plus 3 into 1 is equal to 5. Okay, here the top hidden node value is calculated as 5. Okay, and the bottom hidden node value calculated as 2 into minus 1 and 3 into 1. How much it is? It is 1. So the top node value has been calculated like this, and bottom node value calculated like this, and as a result, the output node is calculated as 5 into 2 plus 1 into minus 1, that is equal to 9. Okay, like that you can calculate the values for each and every node. So here I can say that with these values, the person who has 2 children and 3 accounts can perform 9 transactions over here. Okay, like that I can make a conclusion. But this is only for a single input. Then what is the activation function then? So all the time you may not get this positive values like this in the hidden layers. Okay, or positive values or the whole values what we are getting in this hidden layer. So at that time what we have to do is we will have a activation function. Activation function means, for example, if you are getting any negative values here, and I don't want to handle any kind of negative values, for that what I'll do is I'll apply a ReLU activation function such that even though the calculation of the calculation is leading to the negative value, it ultimately produces a positive value when I apply this activation function. These activation functions are of 2 types. One is linear activation function and non-linear activation function. The linear activation functions are represented like this. Okay, the linear activation functions are represented like this, and these are the non-linear activation functions. Okay, so here I think all of you know what are the various examples of linear and non-linear functions. For example, if you have any exponential, if you have used any exponential functions as non-linear as an activation function, then it is call it as a non-linear activation function. If you are simply saying that if I get negative value, even though I want absolute value, for example, I want absolute value irrespective of the sign. If if I get -5, return +5. Okay, if I get -5, return +5. If I get +5, return +5. So irrespective of sign, you want to get the positive value only. That kind of activation functions will call it as a linear activation functions. Okay. Let us see some deeper networks here. Deeper network means here if you observe in this neural network, we have one input layer, one hidden layer and one output layer, right? For example, if you see in the next slide, it has one input layer and one output layer, but this time you can see two hidden layers. Two hidden layers means what? You have added one more hidden layer such that you are increasing the depth of the network. You are increasing the depth of the network. This kind of networks, will call them as a deeper networks. So why we have to use these deeper network means if you have any complex patterns in your data, okay, if you have very complex patterns in your data and you want to make some effective predictions, then we use these deeper networks. For example, if you want to analyze image analysis, for example, if you want to predict what is that image is, you want to perform some image analysis, or if you want to perform some image predictions, okay, then what we will do is then single hidden layer networks are not suitable for us. In that case, what we will do is we will add hidden layers continuously such that the depth of the network is going to be increased. So by using this deeper networks, what we can do is, as I told you, if I pass some image, it can extract some features from it. Okay, extracting the features will be done at one layer. Okay, and applying some filters will be done in another layer, or applying some striders on the result will happen on another layer. Like that, we can create, we can keep on adding the layers one by one. Then what happens is ultimately the depth of the networks will be increased. Okay, that is why for specifically image analysis we use deeper networks. Okay, the ReLU activation function will also plays a very important role. For the ReLU activation function also, we can allocate a separate layer in the neural network. Okay, like this. This is how the ReLU activation function. For example, if we have got any negative values in the neurons, okay, this diagram says that if you get any negative values in the neurons, you will get 0. Otherwise, what are the values that you got in the neuron is final. ఓకే, మీకు ఈ న్యూరాన్లో ఏమైనా నెగిటివ్ వాల్యూస్ వస్తే కనుక దాన్ని 0 కింద కన్సిడర్ చేస్తుంది. ఒకవేళ నెగిటివ్ వాల్యూ కాకుండా ఏ పాజిటివ్ వాల్యూ ఇచ్చినా దాన్ని యాజ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ కన్సిడర్ చేస్తుంది. దిస్ ఈజ్ వాట్ ద మీనింగ్ ఆఫ్ అ ReLU activation function. For this kind of ReLU activation function also, we can allocate a separate layer in the artificial neural network. Okay. Okay. Before discussing the further concepts, let us write a sample program for neural network. How to create a sample artificial neural network? Let me demonstrate. All of you, please open your Jupyter notebooks. Yeah. All of you, please start Jupyter notebook. So far is clear what is ANN. So our aim here is to simulate a sample artificial neural network. Okay, that to single hidden layer artificial neural network. Okay. All of you, please start your Jupyter notebooks. Okay, all of you, please create a new Python notebook. Please label this as neural networks simulation. So today's date is 03/07/2020. Okay. Okay. Let us simulate some neural networks in this today. Okay. So first, what I'll do is I'll do some markdown here. Our aim is to simulate a single hidden layer ANN. Okay. That is IMG SRC is equal to demo1.jpg. Height is equal to 500. Width is equal to 3. Okay. I think it's not taking it. Here I want to create one more markdown here. Okay, this is the neural network that I want to simulate. Okay. So how to simulate this neural network? Okay, let us see. Import. First, all of you import NumPy package. Import NumPy as NP. So all of you able to see the neural network? Yes, all of you able to see neural network on my screen? Yes. So now I want to simulate that neural network. Okay. So for that, I'm declaring INPT is equal to NP dot array of 2, 3. So first I'm declaring input array, and then I'm creating weights, okay, which is of type dictionary. So first I want to declare bias for my first hidden node. Okay, what is the first hidden node? This. I want to declare bias for first hidden node, that is np dot array of, what are the weights that is associated with the first hidden node? That is 1, 1, right? 1 and 1. All of you once observe here, I am first declaring the bias for the first hidden node. This is b underscore h node 1 is nothing but bias for hidden node 1. So this is hidden node 1, and this is bias associated with it. That is what? 1 and 1. Okay. And then bias associated for hidden node 2, that is np dot array of np dot array of minus 1, 1. And finally the bias for output node. Okay, b underscore opt, that is equal to np dot array of 2, minus 1. Okay, all of you once observe weights. Okay, for the first hidden node I have declared 1, 1. It is a bias associated with the node 5, and minus 1 comma 1, that is bias associated with the node 1 here, this hidden node. And finally for output node, what are the bias associated? That is 2 comma minus 1. So first what I will do is, I want to calculate the value for the first hidden node, okay, that is v underscore h node 1. V underscore h node 1 means what? Value of hidden node 1 can be calculated as INPT into weights of, okay, weights of B underscore h node 1, okay, B underscore h node 1 dot sum. And similarly for hidden node 2, okay, is equal to INPT into weights of B underscore h node 2 dot sum. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I have taken input 2 and 3 and I'm multiplying the weights of first hidden node. This will do the elementary multiplication and sum it. That means you may get the scenario like this: 2 into 1 plus 3 into 1 is equal to 5, like that. Okay, 2 into 1 plus 3 into 1 is equal to 5. And similarly for the hidden node 1, 2 into minus 1 plus 3 into 1, that is equal to 1. As a result, I want to form the value of hidden nodes, V underscore H nodes. Before you calculating the value of output node, you have to form a numpy array for V underscore H node 1 and V underscore H node 2. What are the values that you got? So you have to form an numpy array in order to do the further multiplications. Okay. So how the predictions can be calculated is PRDS is equal to your V underscore H nodes, that into weights of output bias that multiplied and printing the sum. So before you printing the output, let us print the values of V underscore H node 1 and V underscore H node 2 in order to cross verify whether we are getting the values or not, okay, proper values or not. Hidden layer values, okay, hidden layer values, and print output is PREDS. Okay, all of you once observe here. All of you once observe here. So what we have done, first we have taken input values and we have multiplied with the hidden node bias, hidden node 1 bias and hidden node 2 bias, and we have calculated the values for these two hidden nodes. And we have printed those. What are those? 5 and 1. Is it okay? 5 and 1 is perfect. Now what I am doing is this 5 and 1, I have formulated another numpy array and I have multiplied that numpy array with the output bias. With output bias, then I will get the value. Here output is equal to 9. Am I clear? All of you got the output? All of you got the output? Please acknowledge through chat. If you want, I will keep this for 1 minute. No problem. All of you make it fast. Please copy the code and execute. Once finished, please let me know. Yes, all of you finished? Got output, all of you? Please let me know whether you have got output or not, or if you have any doubts, please raise. I'll explain, no problem. Yes? Shall I proceed? Ratna Monica, Yashashwini Bharatam, Chandrasekhar, Vamsi, Manohar, Kapavarpu Chaitanya, Sahiti Satyavolu, Manikanta Avvaru. Shall I proceed? I don't know the remaining names. I have just seen these names in my chat window as they are responding to my messages. Okay, that's why I'm calling their names only. Once you got the output means I'll proceed further. Otherwise, you can ask the doubts, no problem. Shall I proceed? Okay, fine. Okay, so this is how we simulate a sample single hidden layer neural network. Okay, now for example, now we'll proceed to somewhat deeper explanation. Okay. Now we'll discuss about error. Okay, sometimes you may get errors while doing these simulations also. Errors in the sense, what you mean by error means, for example, here this is the neural network what you have simulated just now. Am I right? This is the neural network, just what you have simulated just now. But the result what you are getting here is 9. I hope all of you got result 9. Yes? All of you got result 9. Am I right? Yes? All of you got the result 9. Okay? But if you see in this diagram, 9 is not actual output actually. Actually, its value should be 13. You should not get 9 here. Yes. Here we have understood how to get 9 by taking this kind of inputs and various input bias, output bias, all these things. How we got the 9, just what we have learned. But the thing is here, not the output, the 9, what you are supposed to get here. Okay, actually you are supposed to get 13 here. Okay, that is what we'll call it as the actual value of target. That is what we'll call it as actual value of a target. Then error is equal to predicted minus actual. Okay, so what is the predicted the value that you got? 9, right? But the actual value is how much? 13. So how much is the error? -4. Okay. So what we have to do is, in order to get 13 over here, we are supposed to correct the weights of the neural network. That means the weights what you have used so far are not accurate to get the target value. That's why what you have to do is you have to perform some correcting of weights. That is what we'll call it as a back propagation. Okay, correcting the weights of the neural networks again in order to get the actual value of target. That is what we will call it as a back propagation algorithm. Okay, back propagation algorithm. For that, what we have to do is we are supposed to correct the weights like this. We're supposed to correct the weights like this. See, in the previous neural network, in the next neural network, what is the change here? You can observe that is 2 and this is -1. But here, if you observe the second neural network, here instead of 2, I am using 3, and instead of -1, I'm getting -2 here. You may ask that, sir, how can I get these weights, or how can I correct these weights? Okay, but you are not supposed to directly give this 3 and -2 in an array. Okay, you have to write a program. Okay, please listen carefully. You have to write a program for back propagation such that these weights will be automatically get corrected, and that will leads to the actual value of the target. That is what you meant by back propagation algorithm. Let me define it once again. Back propagation algorithm is nothing but it will automatically correct the weights of the neural network such that it will gives the actual value of the target, or else it will makes your error becomes 0. Okay, so for that, if you do that back propagation, if you perform that back propagation, then you can do some accurate predictions in future. So if you want to understand that back propagation algorithm, first we have to understand what is a loss function. Okay, okay, let me show you one sample back propagation algorithm. Okay, all of you once go back to your Jupyter notebook again. All of you once go back to your Jupyter notebook again. Okay, so now what I want to do is here I want to copy this code. I want to copy this code and please paste in the next cell. Please place it in the next cell. Why? Because here I want to demonstrate back propagation algorithm. Okay, insert cell above. Let's apply back propagation algorithm to our existing ANN. Assuming the actual value of output, or else I can say that it is a target. Okay, which is equal to 13. Okay, now in this code only we'll do some modifications. Okay, what is that is, after weight create a variable called act underscore val, that is what actual value, that is 13. Okay, and you'll calculate normally the value of hidden nodes and you will print the hidden layer values. Again you will form a hidden layer array, what do you call, hidden layer array, and you will calculate the output. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll create another variable called error, which is equal to act underscore value minus, or otherwise you can say that PDREVS predictor value minus actual value. Okay, okay, so now what I'll do is I am supposed to calculate the, so actually the output is 9, but the actual value is how much? Print actual value. Okay, that is act underscore val. Output is 9, but actual value is how much? 13. So for that, what you have to do is you have to update the weights. So before updating the weights, I want to create another variable called b underscore up h node 1 is equal to, I want to get initial weights of b underscore h node 1. Similarly, b underscore up h node 2, which is equal to weights of b underscore h node 2. Similarly, output up opt, up ante updated ani. So initial ga updated weights kuda navi initial weights ane bayilderutunnanu. Okay, tarvata konni modifications chestam. Let us see what are those. Okay, these are the hidden node values I have taken in my initially updated nodes. Now what I'll do is, I'll calculate while np dot round, okay, np dot round, okay, np dot abs of np dot abs of error not equal to 0. What you have to do is, here I'm creating a while loop, and that while loop will be run until your error becomes 0. This while loop will be executed until your error becomes 0. Okay, if you want to make it 0, what you have to do is, you have to calculate the continuous correcting weights. So for that, what you have to do is, you have to calculate a gradient. I'll tell you what is this gradient. That in 2 into input, not input actually, inpt into error. Okay, inpt into error. I'll calculate this gradient, and I want to give a learning rate. We already done this at the time of linear regression. Okay, so I'll suppose to calculate the gradient. That means how much percentage I should correct the weights. That will be decided gradient, and this correction will also leads to the optimum error, and this correction should leads to the optimum error for your neural network. Okay, so now what I'll do is, I'll update the hidden node 1 values, like hidden node values minus learning rate into gradient. Okay, here also I want to take ABS, absolute value of error, in order to take the positivity. Okay, I want to take the absoluteness of the error. Okay, absolute value of error. Okay, and again similarly I want to do absolute means modulus value. Even if it is a negative value, it gives the positive value. I think all of you know what is this ABS. Okay, absolute value. I want to do it for hidden node 2, and also I want to do it for OPT. B underscore UP OPT minus controls. Okay. Okay. So what I'm doing here, I want to minimize the error. That is why I'm selecting the gradient in such a way that the error becomes optimum. ఎర్రర్ ఆప్టిమైజ్ అయ్యే వరకు మనం వెయిట్స్ ని అప్డేట్ చేస్తూనే ఉండాలి కంటిన్యూస్ గా. అందుకే ఎర్రర్ 0 అయ్యే వరకు ఈ వైల్ లూప్ రన్ అవుతూనే ఉంటుంది. ఎర్రర్ 0 అయ్యే వరకు ఈ వైల్ లూప్ మీ వెయిట్స్ ని అప్డేట్ చేస్తూనే ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, సో ఇప్పుడు మనం ఏం చేస్తామంటే, ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ కాపీ దీస్ 2 కోడ్స్, దీస్ 2 లైన్స్. What are those 2 lines? Here v underscore h node 1 and v underscore h node 2 క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేశారు కదా, దాన్ని కాపీ చేయండి. అలాగే ఈ రెండు కూడా కాపీ చేయండి, ఈ 2 లైన్లు కూడా కాపీ చేయండి. v underscore h nodes treds. ఓకే, కానీ ఇక్కడ ఏం చేస్తారంటే ఇన్స్టెడ్ ఆఫ్ వెయిట్స్ ఆఫ్ b and h node, అప్డేటెడ్ వెయిట్స్ ఇవి కాబట్టి, here what you have to write is b underscore up h node 1, and similarly here b underscore up h node 2. Okay, and here what you have to do is b underscore up opt. Why? Because here we have to recalculate the output with the corrected weights. That's why here we are updating the weights over here using this gradient function. We are updating the weights here. Okay. And those updated weights will play again a role in order to calculate the next output. Again, what we'll do is, again, you have to calculate the error, which is equal to NP-ABS of PRDS minus ACT underscore val, and print the error. Am I clear? Am I clear? Any doubts? Okay, I'm keep on updating the weights and calculating the new output, and I'm checking for the error. Now execute the code, control enter. So here the error is what? 0.18. Otherwise you can print np dot round off error. Np dot round off error. Not printing, right? Okay, so here we are getting 0 error at last. Okay, so then we have to print what are the updated weights. Okay, if you are successfully printing the successfully have achieved the what? The 0 error. So you have to print the weights which leads to the 0 errors. Okay, so these are the weights that will leads to the 0 error. Okay, that will leads to the 0 error. So with these weights, you will do the future predictions. You will do the future predictions. So here what we have done is, this is only for single input that we have done. For example, if you have multiple inputs, what we will do is, here for example, the first input actual prediction is, your prediction is 10, but the actual value is 20. And if you take another input, you have predicted its value as 8, but the actual value is 3. Here the prediction, you have predicted the value is 6 and the actual value is 1. These are 3 types of inputs. At that case, what you have to do is, you have to consider mean square error. Mean square error, and we will try to reduce that mean square error. Okay. So if you have weight 1 and weight 2, the orientation of loss function is like this. We already discussed this in linear regression, how this gradient descent is going to be changed when you can keep on changing the weights. Okay, you will consider the weights when your gradient descent reaches to the some minimum value. So lower the loss function means it's a better model. You have to lower the loss function, or gradient descent is also called as the loss function. Okay, gradient descent is also called as loss function. When you are trying to reduce this loss function means you are achieving the better model. So ultimately you are identifying the values of weight 1 and weight 2 that will give the low value for the loss function. See in the notebook, these are the values that will tells you to, these are the weight values that will tells you to reaching to the optimum error or zero error. Zero error. Okay. Okay. Now, see here the gradient descent initially ఇవన్నీ మీకు తెలుసు కానీ మళ్ళీ చెప్తున్నాను. ఓకే, గ్రేడియంట్ డిసెంట్ అంటే ఇనీషియల్ గా మీ వాల్యూ ఇక్కడ ఉంటుంది ఎర్రర్. ఓకే, సో మీరు వెయిట్స్ రెడ్యూస్ చేసుకుంటూ వస్తున్నప్పుడు అంటే వెయిట్స్ మాడిఫై చేస్తూ వస్తున్నప్పుడు మీ లాస్ తగ్గి 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 ఎక్కడికి వస్తుందంటే ఒక మినిమం పాయింట్ రీచ్ అవుతుంది. ఓకే, finding the point where the lossing function is minimum. So you have already successfully find the weights. Just now you have executed the program and you have printed the weights, right? Those weights will lead to the loss function to the minimum. That means you are already at this point. You're already at this point. And if you do that again and again continuously, then again it will lead to some overfit problem. Okay, then it leads to the overfit problem. Initially, if you are here and you are coming to this position, means you are coming from underfit to optimum value. And if you further train the model, then what happens is it will lead to some overfit problem. Okay, so yeah, before going to linear classifiers, okay, let us execute Keras model, how we can automate this. Okay, I want all of you to open notebook in your Google CO lab. This is what manual, and we have a Keras model. We have Keras model. Okay, let us execute that code. I think hope all of you have uploaded the file input underscore data dot CSV. Okay, all of you upload your data input underscore data dot CSV. Okay, now start writing the code. Okay, first all of you import pandas as PD, and df is equal to PD dot read underscore CSV of input underscore data dot CSV. Okay, in the next line I want to allocate inputs and outputs. X is equal to df dot drop of OPT of axis is equal to 1 dot values, and small y is equal to df of OPT dot values. I have successfully configured the input and output. Now I want to import another package from sklearn dot model underscore selection import train underscore test underscore split, and I want to split my data set into training data and testing data. Okay, x underscore test y underscore train, comma, y underscore test, that is equal to train underscore test underscore split x comma y. Here I want to take testing size as 0.2 and random underscore state is equal to 1. State is equal to 0. So here what I have done is I have divided my whole data sets, inputs and outputs, into training sets and testing sets. So now I will import Keras, okay, from Keras dot models, and this Keras will automate your okay neural networks even though you have number of data samples or data examples. అంటే మనం చేసింది ఇప్పుడు మనం మాన్యువల్గా చేసింది ఏదో ఒక్క ఎగ్జాంపుల్కి మాత్రమే అప్లికబుల్. ఒకవేళ ఎక్కువ డేటా శాంపిల్స్ ఉన్నాయనుకోండి మనం చేసింది నాట్ ఎట్ ఆల్ accurate అనమాట. సో దట్స్ వై Keras will give you the solution to design neural networks for any number of data samples. Okay, so all of you please import these two packages. That is this is what a sequential model that you are importing, and dense means layer anamata. Dense refers to the layers. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll create the model. I'll create the model. Model is equal to sequential. For this model I want to add the layer ని యాడ్ చేసినప్పుడు dense అని వాడాలి. ఓకే, 50 comma we are adding input layer with input dimension 2, ఎందుకంటే మనం ఎడిషన్ ఆఫ్ 2 నెంబర్స్ అనుకుంటున్నాం కాబట్టి ఎడిషన్ ఆఫ్ 2 నెంబర్స్ లో ఇన్పుట్స్ 2 ఉంటాయి కాబట్టి సో ఇన్పుట్ డైమెన్షన్ 2 అంటున్నాం. యాక్టివేషన్ ఫంక్షన్ ఈజ్ ReLU. Activation function is what? ReLU. And I want to add another hidden layer. Okay, hidden layer whose number of neurons are 50. Number of neurons are 50, and the activation is ReLU function again here. For every node I am giving the activation function as ReLU. And similarly, finally I want to add an output layer which contains only one neuron, and the activation function for this also ReLU. Now if I want to see the model what I have created, for that we will use model.summary. Okay, this is the summary. Okay, see here we have created 50 neurons for each input, right? 50 neurons for each input. Okay, that means initially we'll have 2 neurons which that will automatically takes 2 inputs. After that we have 50 neurons. Okay, each 50 neurons allocated to one input one input, and another 50 neurons will be allocated to another input, totally 100, plus for intercept total we have 150. అంటే మనం a1x1 plus a2x2 plus b అని రాస్తాం కదా, సో ఆ b కి మిగతా 15 neurons అన్నమాట. సో టోటల్ we have in the first layer we have first hidden layer we have 150 neurons. In the second hidden layer we have 2550. అంటే ఈ 50 into 50 2500 plus bias 2550, and we have 50 neurons for one output. Okay, that is 51 neurons. So you can check the model.summary like this. అంటే మీరు క్రియేట్ చేసిన న్యూరల్ నెట్వర్క్ ని ఏం క్రియేట్ చేశారనేది model.summary ద్వారా చెక్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తామంటే ఐ విల్ క్రియేట్ model.compile of, we have to use optimizer. Okay, which optimizer you want to use, that means which doesn't leads to any overfit. Okay, which doesn't leads to any overfit. I'm using the optimizer called Adam, and loss function as mean square. mean squared error. Okay, so different types of problems will have different optimizers and different types of loss function. Here we are using regression problem, that is why I'm using Adam optimizer and mean square error as the loss function. Okay, with the classification problem anukondi, here you have to write softmax, binary cross entropy. Okay, that kind of loss functions can be used. The loss functions will be differ from one problem to other problem. Okay, so now what I will do is I will train my model. Okay, I will train my model, that is model dot model dot fit epochs underscore hist is equal to model dot fit of, I want to train the model on my training data. Okay, x underscore train comma y underscore train comma and epochs is equal to 280. Okay, comma batch underscore size is equal to 1 and verbose is equal to 1, verbose is equal to 2 and validation underscore split is equal to 0. Okay, okay, this is how I am training my model. Okay, I want to create 280 epochs. Epochs ante entante correcting the weights for all the input samples. అంటే మీ ఇన్పుట్ శాంపిల్స్ మొత్తం తీసుకొని ఒకసారి ఫార్వర్డ్ ప్రాపగేట్ అయ్యి ఒక ఎర్రర్ వస్తే మీన్ స్క్వేర్ ఎర్రర్ వస్తే దాన్ని మళ్ళీ మినిమైజ్ చేయడానికి మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి వెనక్కి వస్తుంది. దాన్ని మనం ఒక ఈపోక్ అంటాం. ఓకే, one forward propagation plus one backward propagation is equal to one epoch. Like that, I'm getting 280 epochs here. If you perform this 280 epochs, there is a chance of minimizing the mean square error. And batch size is equal to 1. I'm taking all the examples as a single batch. I'm not dividing them into different types of batches. And verbose will represent the progress of the training of the model. And validation split, it will checks for internal validation, and this training data is further divided into 20% of validation data. 20% of validation data in order to check the validation loss. Now execute this instruction. Execute the instruction. Okay, now create a new sample in order to test whether it is giving the outputs correctly or not. So I want to give a sample input and p that array of 10 comma 20, and I want to pass to that my model in order to check the result, predicted result. y underscore pred is equal to model dot predict of x underscore test underscore sample. Okay, print y underscore pred, print. సార్ నేను క్లాస్లో ఉన్నాను సార్. వేణుగోపాల్ గ్రూప్లో మెసేజ్ పెట్టాడండి, మీరు చూడలేదా? ఎవరెవరు దేనికి ఆప్షన్ అనేది మెయిల్ కూడా పెట్టాడు. మిడ్ వన్ కూడా వాళ్ళ దగ్గర ఉంటుందండి, ఎగ్జామినేషన్ ఇన్ఛార్జీల దగ్గర ఉంటాయి అటెండెన్స్లు. మా దగ్గర ఎందుకు ఉంటాయి? లేదు, నా ఎగ్జామ్కి అయితే ఎవరో ఆప్షన్ కావాలి, అందరూ రాస్తారు. Give it in double brackets. Okay, here pass one more pair bracket here. So we are getting 10 plus 20 is equal to 28. So what we have to do is let us decrease the number of epochs here. So it may lead to some overfit. The problem is there for Google Colab. It is not allowing us to type smoothly, right? So much nuisance. Okay, you keep on change the epochs, reduce the number of epochs, you will get the result. Here we have 200. I think all of you have 280, right? Make it 200. Make it 200 and again execute that instruction and again check the output. There will be change in the result. Okay, so Google Colab it's not responding. You people keep on reduce the epochs and check for the output. Okay, now let us see the how to create linear classifiers using artificial neural networks. Okay, so this is how the function is declared for a linear classifier. All of you please leave Google Colab and come back to our presentation. All of you please leave the Google Colab and come back to our presentation. Now our aim is to create linear classifiers using artificial neural networks. For that I'm creating a function called score of x is equal to w dot w1x1 plus w2x2 plus so on up like this. Okay, so for that I am creating this linear classifier is also called as a single perceptron classifier. Okay, single perceptron classifier generally used to identify the simulate the results of logic gates. So this is our input layers and these are the weights. As per the calculations has been done like this, we are going to predict the output either 0 or 1. That's it, or greater than 0 or less than 0, whether you are getting positive output or negative input. Okay, so if you are getting the greater than 0, then I can say that all those values are positive value, and if you are any negative values as the score, then you'll get all these negative values. Then this is the linear classifier whose value is exactly 0. Okay, I am separating the positive values in one plane and negative values in another plane, and I'm considering this linear classifier as the ideal line or the line of separation when you get this score of x is equal to 0, like this. Okay, w0 plus w1, this action is equal to 0, then it will call it as a linear classifier which will separate the positive values as well as negative values. That can be done using this single layer perceptron. Single layer perceptron. If you observe here, we don't have any hidden layers over here. We don't have any hidden layer. We have only one input layer. That is why it is what we will call as a single layer perceptron classifier. And also only one output. So let us apply that to our simple logic gates like OR gate and AND gate. Okay, here I want to take this formula and apply for the inputs here. For example, here I am taking W1, all of you once observe this function, W0 plus W1x1 plus W2x2, only up to this. Here I am taking this W0 as the 0.5. Minus 0.5 for OR gate and minus 1.5 for AND gate. And if I perform the functions, okay, if I get x1 equal to 0 and x2 equal to 0, then the score of the function is minus 0.5. And if I apply ReLU function in the sense, if you are getting less than 0 values or any negative values, it will consider it as a 0. And if I consider x1 is equal to 1 and x2 equal to 0, then score becomes 0.5, which is a greater than 0 or positive value, then I'll consider as a 1. All the positive values will be considered as 1 and negative values are considered as 0 because of ReLU activation function. And here in the AND gate, if you see here, I'm taking this W0 as minus 1.5 and I applied the table on the table like this. Okay, so this is how the table has been applied like this. If you want later, you can check this. Okay. The function is W0 plus W1x1 plus W2x2. That is the function. Okay, where W1 and W2 are the 1-1s here. Other okay, 1-1s, and x1 and x2 will be changed according to the truth table what you want to implement. Okay, so now if I want, this is how, if I consider OR gate, okay, if I consider both the inputs as 0, I'll get 0 in that case only. Okay, for the remaining all the cases, I'll get 1, such that I can easily separate this. Okay, I can easily separate these values. So here I can have a linear classifier. Let me show you once. Okay, so here I can separate all these ones. Okay, I can separate all these ones. Like this. I can have a classifier for this truth table. Similarly, I can have classifier. I can have classifier for AND gate also, like this. I can keep all the zeros are one side and 1 is one side. And here I can keep all the ones at one side and the 0 at one side for this. But if you consider XOR gate, can anybody have a one linear classifier such that all ones are at one side and all zeros are at one side? Can you do like that? See here, for all zeros, for all ones, I can separate in OR gate. And for AND gate, I can separate all zeros. Am I right? But if you consider the XOR gate, can anybody tell me, can you separate zeros and ones only using one linear classifier? Yes? Anybody? Please acknowledge through chat. Can you able to separate? Can you able to separate zeros and ones with only one single classifier? So not possible, right? Not possible. That is why we cannot apply single layer perceptron classifier for this. So for the XOR gate, the gate will be implemented like this. Okay. Definitely there should exist at least one hidden layer Without that one hidden layer, we cannot apply, we cannot implement the XOR gate. So what do you mean? Actually, what is the XOR gate definition? Score of X is equal to X1 and not X2 plus not X1 and X2. అంటే X1 X2 bar plus X1 bar X2. అదే కదా మన XOR formula. So if you implement that, single layer perceptron is not enough. That is what I want to say. Okay, you have to implement a logic gate like this. Okay. Now let us enter into the CNN classification. Okay, what do you call convolutional neural network. For this, I'll send the code. Okay, we don't have enough time to write the code now. Okay, I'll give you the explanation and I'll send the code. No problem. I'll send the code as well as data sets. So in the convolution neural network, mainly used for image classification. Okay. So for example, here if you say the dog, I have to say whether this dog is a Labrador Retriever or Golden Retriever, red bone, like that I have to classify this image. If you want to classify the image, first you have to perform the feature detection. Okay, without performing the features detection, you cannot classify any image or you cannot labelize any image. What do you mean by features? For example, if you have an image like this, your system should be able to identify eyes, nose and mouth separately and also face. Okay, as per the orientation of these eyes, nose, mouth and face, it will identify which person he is or which animal it is or which object it is, like that. So the feature detection will play a very important role in classifying any image using this convolution neural network. So we have 4-layered architecture. Okay, CNN follows 4-layered architecture. In artificial neural networks, creation of layers is up to our wish. అంటే ANN లో లేయర్స్ ని యాడ్ చేయాలి అంటే అది మన ఇష్టం. మనకి ఎన్ని లేయర్స్ అయినా మనకు నచ్చినట్టు యాడ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఇందాక మనం కేరస్ లో చూసాం కదా, యాడ్ డెన్స్ అని వాడాం కదా, అలా యాడ్ డెన్స్ లో ఎన్నైనా రాసుకోవచ్చు. దట్ విల్ సూటబుల్ టు అవర్ అప్లికేషన్. దట్ ఈస్ ఇన్ అవర్ హ్యాండ్. బట్ ది CNN ఈజ్ predefined 4-layered architecture. Okay, convolution neural network is predefined 4-layered architecture. So what are the 4 layers that it contains? The first thing is convolution layer. What is the first layer? It is convolution layer. The second layer is ReLU layer. Okay, and the third layer is pooling layer. We'll explain about this each and every layer in detail. Okay, first let us identify what are the 4 layers we have in CNN. One is convolution, next one is ReLU, the third one is pooling, and finally it is flattened layer. Okay, let us see what is convolution. In this convolution, it will take the input image and it will detect some features. Okay, in order to detect the feature, we should have a kernel of specific size. That kernel will also called as the feature detector, just like to identify mouse, nose, mouth, nose, eyes, face, ears, like that. In order to detect those features, we will construct a kernel. Okay, that kernel job is to detect the features in your image. After detecting the features in your image, it will forms a feature map. Okay, let us see convolution what happens. See, this is your image. Okay, this is your image and this is your kernel matrix, which is also called as a feature detector. This kernel matrix will stride all over your image like this. Okay, stride all over image and perform the calculations like this and give the values like this. So definitely the output matrix produced by your kernel matrix is less than your image matrix. Okay, here we are decreasing the dimensionality of the image also using this kernel matrix. Okay, this is your kernel matrix and this will be stride over your image like this and it will produces the values like this. ఓకే, ఆ వాల్యూస్ ఎలా క్యాలిక్యులేషన్ అవుతున్నాయి అనేది ఇక్కడ ఉంది. ఓకే, ఏం లేదు, అన్ని కాలం వాల్యూస్ కరస్పాండింగ్ కాలం వాల్యూస్ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ అయిపోయి ఒక సింగిల్ వాల్యూని తెచ్చి ఇక్కడ పెడతాయి అంతే. ఇక్కడ 3/3 మీదకి కూర్చుంటుంది స్ట్రైడర్. ఇట్ విల్ సిట్ ఆన్ దిస్ 3/3 అండ్ ఇట్ విల్ పెర్ఫార్మ్స్ 0 × 0 ప్లస్ 0 × 1 0 × -1 ప్లస్ 0 × 0 ప్లస్ అలా అనమాట. సో మొత్తం 9 ఎలిమెంట్లని యాడ్ చేసేస్తుంది. 9 ఎలిమెంట్లని యాడ్ చేసేసి అక్కడ ఒక స్పెసిఫిక్ వాల్యూని పెడుతుంది. దీనివల్ల ఏంటంటే మన ఇమేజ్ సైజ్ కూడా తగ్గుతుంది అవుట్పుట్ మ్యాట్రిక్స్లో. ఓకే, తర్వాత ఏంటంటే వీ హ్యావ్ అ రీలు లేయర్. If you, while doing like this, if you are getting any negative values in this output matrix, then ReLU layer will do that. It will access all those, it will identify all those negative values and it will convert into the positive values like this. Okay, that is what ReLU layer. Okay, next what it will do is will do some pooling concept. Pooling means after successful application of ReLU layer here, this is your resultant matrix. This is your resultant matrix. For this resultant matrix, pooling layer is going to be applied. For this pooling layer, one strider will be there. This strider will identify. This is what 2x2 strider, which is continuously moving, right? This is continuously moving. This continuous moving matrix, we will call it as a 2x2 strider. Here it will place it on here in this, in the first 4, which is maximum here 8, that will be placed here. In the second 4, which is maximum 6, that will be placed here. In the third, which is maximum 9, that will be placed here. In the fourth, which is maximum 9, that will be placed here. So this is what we will call it as pooling. We have various types of poolings like max pooling, min pooling, average pooling, like that. Okay, so here what I am doing is I am obtaining the further output matrix by applying this pooling concept. And the last one is flatten layer. What this flatten layer means, the resultant of the pooling layer, which is a double dimension matrix, will convert it into the what? Single dimension matrix. We are flattening this double dimension matrix into single dimensional matrix, and it will be fed to your neural network, and it will give the label. Okay, so the overall structure has been given like this. Okay, so this is our complete CNN architecture. Before applying your flatten array to your ANN here, the okay, ఇక్కడ ఉన్న ఈ పోర్షన్ మనం ANN అంటాం, కానీ మొత్తాన్ని మనం CNN అని అంటాం. ఎందుకంటే CNN లో ఫస్ట్ కన్వల్యూషన్ జరగాలి, కన్వల్యూషన్ తర్వాత రీలు అప్లై అవ్వాలి, రీలు అప్లై తర్వాత పూలింగ్ అవ్వాలి, పూలింగ్ తర్వాత ఫ్లాటనింగ్ అవ్వాలి. ఆ రిజల్టెంట్ వాల్యూ మన ANNకి వెళ్ళాలి. Okay, including this ANN, this entire structure we'll call it as a CNN. That is what we'll call it as a convolution neural networks. Convolution neural networks. Am I clear? I will send the CNN program and data sets to you, so no problem. Okay, and this is about CNN. Clear all of you? Any doubts regarding CNN? I think most of you people already done the projects on CNN. Any doubts? Shall I proceed further? Yes? Please acknowledge through chat. Yeah, flattening I'll explain. Yes. See, I think all of you understand what is convolution. We have 4 layers, right? Convolution means using this feature map, feature detector or kernel matrix, it will obtain feature map like this output matrix. Later, if you get any negative values by doing like that, the ReLU layer will identify those negative values and it will convert them in positive like this. After that, what happens is it applies pooling. Pooling means in the output matrix, the 2x2 strider, the strider dimension is your wish. You may select 2x2 or 3x3 like that. If you select 2x2 strider, this strider will select the what is the maximum of first 4, and later what is the maximum of second 4, and third what is the maximum of third 4. Like that, it will identify the maximum elements of this ReLU output matrix. Okay, and then what it will do is it will simply converts your double dimensional matrix into a single dimension array. That is what flatten. ఎందుకంటే మనం ANNకి అయితే ఒక సింగిల్ వాల్యూ ఇవ్వాలి లేదా ఒక అరే ఇవ్వాలి, డబుల్ డైమెన్షన్ మ్యాట్రిక్స్ని డైరెక్ట్గా పంపించడం. అందువల్ల ఏం చేయాలంటే ఈ ఫ్లాటన్ ఏం చేస్తుందంటే ఈ డబుల్ డైమెన్షన్ మ్యాట్రిక్స్ ని ఒక సింగిల్ డైమెన్షన్ అరే కింద కన్వర్ట్ చేసి దాన్ని ఏఎన్ఎన్ ఫీడ్ చేస్తుంది. ఓకే, దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ ద రోల్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్లాటనింగ్. That is why after flattening there will be a neural network here. Am I clear? The flattening job is to convert your dimension of the matrix. It will convert your double dimensional matrix into a single dimension array, and that array will feed it to your neural network. Okay, clear Chandrasekhar? Okay, so we have one more concept called this is a completely new concept, that is what transfer learning. I think most of you people, some of you people may know about this, but those who don't know about this transfer learning, let me explain. Okay, simply it is like building the models on one type of data, and using that model to other type of data. Okay, for example, here if you see the architecture here, using the source label and source data, I will construct one model here. Okay, and that model as it is used for another type of labels and another type of data, but here the condition is there should not be any change in the dimensionality of the data. Ante okavela nenu ikkada I have constructed a model. I have constructed a model for identifying the cars. Okay, and the same model can be used to identifying the trucks. Okay, here I'll build the model for identifying the cars. Okay, the same model can be used for identifying the trucks. Here also image classification is happening, here also image classification is happening, but the constraint is you are not supposed to change the dimensionality of the data. Okay, and for example దీనికి source model కి 10 features ఉన్నాయనుకోండి, target model కూడా 10 features ఉండాలి. సోర్స్ లో మనకి ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఒక 3 labels ఉన్నాయనుకోండి, ఇక్కడ కూడా 3 labels ఉండాలి. Here the change in the data only, but not the change in the model. Okay, so knowledge gained on one problem can be used to another related problem. That is what we'll call it as a transfer learning. So in that we can, after getting the source training model, in the target training model you can use our own labels and data. Okay, our own labels and data on the model which is already trained. Okay, but there is a disadvantage of with this transfer learning. Okay, if you have GPUs, then only this transfer learning will be happen, otherwise it won't happen. Why? Because it requires a lot of infrastructure. In our home laptops, the transfer learning is not that much possible. The thing is, you should have some advanced hardware configuration in order to perform this transfer learning. Okay, this transfer learning is also implemented using CNN only, convolution neural networks only. Okay, and the final concept we have entered, recurrent neural networks. Okay, how these recurrent neural networks are different from ANN and CNN. So in the previous artificial neural networks and convolution neural network, if you take, there we don't have any concept like storages. Okay, అక్కడ స్టోరేజ్ అనేది ఏవి జరగదు, అక్కడ స్టోరింగ్ ఆఫ్ డేటా అనేది జరగదు. దేర్ ఇన్ ద ANNs and CNN we have only processing only, we don't have any storages. But here in the recurrent neural networks we have storages. That means what? Output of the previous step can be fed as the input for the current step. Okay, so this is the model RNN, recurrent neural network. So this is previous step, this ST-1 we'll call it as a previous step, and ST is called as the current step, and ST+1 we'll call it as a next step. Here what this RNN will do is, RNN will consider the storage unit of previous, and it will feed to the current step. that will be feed to the current step, and further it will feed to the next step. So here what happens is these layers are dependent and assigned same weights and bias. ఇందాక మనం ఏఎన్ఎన్లోని సిఎన్ఎన్లో ఏంటంటే ప్రతి లేయర్ దగ్గర కావాలంటే వెయిట్స్ మార్చుకోవచ్చు. In the starting example, you may observe that you can observe that different layers have different weights. Am I right? In the different layers, we have different weights for ANNs and CNNs. But in the RNN, for each and every layer, the weight should be unique. The weight should not be changed. The weight should not be changed. So these layers are dependent and assigned same weights and bias. Okay. The bias must be consistent over the complete RNN. Okay. And this RNNs generally use it to NLP related applications. Okay. Natural language processing applications in order to predict the next word. I think all of you seen the Google search engine, right? You will search for something. Am I able to something? It will identify, it will predict the next word automatically, right? Okay. So that can be happen through this RNN. For example, I am a, then Google will predict that good boy, bad boy, stupid fellow, useless fellow, like that, right? So all these are all different predictions on the previous context. If you type I am a means what? It will consider it as a previous state. Based on the previous state, it will predict the possible words for the current state. That is what exact concept of recurrent neural networks. Generally, these recurrent neural networks are used for text related data. And this gives us a measure of grammatical and semantic correctness also, whether you are forming the correct sentence or not, whether you are forming a grammatically good sentence or not. Okay, that is going to be judged. That this is already implemented by Google people. If you see in the Gmail, if you compose any Gmail, for example, it will give you some suggestions, right? How those suggestions are happening because of this recurrent neural networks only. It will also tells you if you type anything wrong, if you give any wrong spelling also, it will tell you. If you are writing any wrong context also, it will tell you because of this recurrent neural networks. Okay, am I clear? Thank you. With this, we have successfully completed our DSML sessions. Okay, this is our last class. Okay, that's why I spent some more time when compared to the previous sessions. Okay, hope all of you have enjoyed my sessions. But still, if you have any doubts, you can call me personally or you can keep a mail. Let me give my mail ID. Okay, this is my mail ID. And this is my WhatsApp number. Okay, if anybody has any doubts, you can call me or you can text me, no problem. Okay, hope all of you have enjoyed my sessions. Yes? Is there anybody still any problem with the concepts what I have discussed? Please let me know on the phone or a mail. Okay, I'll send the convolution neural network program, no problem. Just copy the data set in your systems and copy the code in your Jupyter notebook and simply execute it. That's it. No other thing you have to do. నేను పంపించే కోడ్ అలా కాపీ చేసి ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయండి. ఓకే, నేను ఇచ్చిన డేటా సెట్ని సేవ్ చేసుకోండి. దట్స్ ఇట్. సో ఎనీ డౌట్స్ రిలేటెడ్ టు టుడేస్ సెషన్? Any doubts? Shall we wind up the session? Shall we wind up the session? Okay.